Greetings, Coach. I hope you enjoy your visit here on planet Uranus. Exploring this planet will give you a chance to learn about the factors of unpredictable changes and rebellion. For Sports Coach, your challenge is to try and put these factors into your own coaching practice and see if you can think of when you've applied them.
So, rebellion. On planet Uranus, they have this idea of this concept that one fish goes against the normal way of swimming that the other fishes are going. So you got the yellow fish doing the opposite of what all the fishes are doing, and it's going against the flow, being different. So what does it mean for a coach to rebel? Learning situations. This is from Mallet, Trudel, Lyle and Ryan in 2009. The learning situations are associated with either informal or formal situations. So formal situations are structured. This is guided delivery from a set of instructions, and in informal situations are more incidental. The formal coach education programs criticise for the limited scope in their achievements. So sometimes with coaching you might have a set of rules or a set of instructions that a coach would deliver to the athlete or child, and they don't have a lot of scope to go above those achievements. Once they have those achievements, there's not another step afterwards. So for a coach, it might be best to use an informal learning approach, not in the classroom, incidental learning, trial and error, etc. So it might be best that a coach was to go against the idea of what they're told to deliver from their organisation and use this more trial and error approach to potentially lift their athlete above their expectations to improve their skill even more. And this idea that coaches can do this is a real advantage for them and their athlete. Unpredictable changes. Within coaching, within life, there's unpredictable changes all the time, and some stuff you just cannot control. A great example of this is the COVID-19 pandemic. It hit everyone unexpectedly. There was going to be a new normal. There is a new normal in certain parts. It was unpredictable. No one could have predicted it. And it's changed how a lot of people work and how they live their life. So it's altered how sport was coached and how it's delivered, and potentially a new normal in the coaching world from this change or from this pandemic. So adaptability from Hull and Chandler in 2005 said it involved the capacity to change. This can include both competence, so the skill, and the motivation of the person, and that is adaptability. So Wooden and Carty in 2015 followed on from this to say that adaptability is about having the ability to change in any situation given to you at any point in time. Linking specifically to coaching, this is a perfect example that coaching is so lots of problem solving, lots of like I say, unpredictable changes. So having that ability to change in any situation makes you a real great coach. There are only a few things that are guaranteed in life. And change needs to be looked at as a good thing, and that people can learn from it. Through this pandemic, there's been lots and lots of negatives, but coaching has altered. Sometimes for a positive. There's more one-to-one coaching now because of social distancing, and this can be looked at as a good thing from change. And Wooden and Carty in 2015 directly said that we change what we can, but if we get too concerned, involved and engrossed in circumstances over which we cannot or have no control or can't change, those circumstances are going to have a negative impact on the events and outcomes we can control. So ultimately, if we can make the best out of change and from the stuff we can control, have a good thing, then it'll have a positive impact on our lives. Adapting to the third national lockdown with my under-8s football team. So you can see to the right there's lots of different types of quizzes that I gave out to my team on the WhatsApp social media service through the third national lockdown. And through this third national lockdown, it was potentially one of the toughest ones out there because there's been two previous ones already. It's just after Christmas, so the weather's really cold, always dark outside, and for my team, the under-8s, they had no type of football to go to socialise with their players or their mates. I just thought it would be good to get them to do something, and even if only one person wanted to complete the quiz, it would be a success for them. So taking what we learned from planet Uranus and about the unpredictable changes, I almost thought, what could I change and what was in my control? So this was something that was in my control. I thought I could just put a quiz out easily, it would make a few people happy, and it would maybe boost the morale of the team. So in actual fact, one of the parents messaged me and said that one of the kids was able to do this quiz over FaceTime with their uncle, and they really enjoyed discussing all about different types of football related questions, what's going on in football, and in fact it's actually brought me to an idea that I might do this more commonly, even post lockdown, because it's such a good thing to just get everyone on board, get everyone thinking. It's just a really fun idea that I definitely will take into my coaching from a negative aspect, which was the COVID-19 pandemic. My coaching on planet Uranus. So we've already discovered and looked at my quiz that I did during the third national lockdown, and how that helped myself and my ideas, and then also helped my team. But looking at my coaching, the idea that changing the Little Kickers coaching session plans was brought to attention. So Little Kickers, obviously, they give you, all the coaches, a session to complete as part of their organisation, but in times I've gone against that rule, I've rebelled their organisation, and I've felt that it's actually benefited myself with my own creativity, and the players, that they've had a bit more fun, they've learnt a few more skills than what the actual organisation set out for me to do. So that's almost like the image shows to the right. The person in the hot air balloon used a different type of method. Instead of the big balloon, they've just used a little small one. It does the same job, but just a different scope. And then we've also got the social distance sessions. During the pandemic, I've had unpredictable changes. I've had to socially distance my sessions, but actually it's allowed me to have more one-on-one sessions with them, made me have one-to-one chats. I can see what they think about their skill development and see their thoughts, and not just me delivering to a whole group. And I think that is a real change to my coaching that I've had to take from planet Uranus. And it's made me think more. Made me think about how I deliver my sessions, especially during the pandemic. And it's just been a big different scope to my coaching. Have you seen in the top right, you've got the child learning online, and this is a big change for learning as a whole. It's all gone to online, but the idea that learning can take online and actually bring some benefits. Maybe it's a bit more isolated, maybe the child can focus more. There's positive and negative to take from it, but definitely adapting to change is definitely a good thing. So after travelling to the 4 first different planets on our journey, this is our first trip back to Earth to reflect on my performance wheel. So comparing my performance wheel with the one that we did at headquarters on Earth back at the start of the journey before we set off, as you can see throughout the different planets, I would have put a score of the different factors that the planet represents out of 10 on the planet, so you could have seen what I rated myself when I reflected on myself during my coaching times on the different planets. So firstly, unpredictable changes. At the start, I reflected on my own coaching, and I said that I was 4 out of 10. However, after looking at the planet which unpredictable changes was on, I now think that I am in fact a 9 out of 10. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, I really feel like I've flourished through this, and I can actually say that I'm good with change, and I can have change as a positive thing to my coaching. Because of, like I've said, the COVID-19 pandemic, but also in different scenarios, I feel like I am adaptable, and it's something that I am proud of with my coaching. So next up was my responsibility. I originally, before the journey started, rated myself 9 out of 10 in responsibility. I did feel I was as a responsible coach, and I feel like now I've only gone up from there, and I've rated myself 10 out of 10 with responsibility. I've taken on a new coaching team with Exton Villa, and I've had to take charge of that team. And I do feel proud that I've been responsible and taken good care with my team, with the parents, the athletes, the chairman of the club, and all this stuff I think only adds to a 10 out of 10 for my responsibility. So next up was growth, and I feel this has just stayed the same really with my growth. With the COVID-19 pandemic, I have had limited chance to coach. Although I've been able to change because of the pandemic, there has been times where lockdown has occurred and I just haven't been able to coach, simple as that really. I haven't been able to develop. And yeah, my growth I do feel is only still a 6 out of 10, and there's more chance for me to grow in the future, but at the moment still remains 6 out of 10. So following on from this is my intelligence. Originally my intelligence was only a 7 out of 10 because I feel like at that point in time I still had a bit more intelligence to gain through coaching. There's always time to learn, but I did feel like I did have a sound understanding of coaching as a whole. So after visiting the 4 planets, I do feel like my intelligence has gone up only by 1, so it's now at an 8 out of 10, purely because of the fact that this 3rd year during university it's gone a really deep level in terms of looking at different ethics or different mindsets or why we coach, and I feel like I have gained a bit of intelligence in terms of coaching. That's my reason why it's gone to 8 out of 10. Now the next one is ambition. Originally, before setting off on the journey, I was an 8 out of 10 for this, but I do feel like now, after visiting the 4 planets, my ambition has gone down slightly, mainly because I feel like in terms of mental health and just enjoyment throughout the lockdown, it has taken its toll on myself, and my ambition to coach sometimes has dropped because of the fact I just haven't been coaching. It has dropped slightly. I still am ambitious to being a coach, but the idea of the pandemic has made me at times think maybe normal life won't return. After understanding this, that there might be a new normal, it's a bit better for my own mental health, but I do feel like my own ambition has gone down slightly, and that is my reason as to why it's now only a 7 out of 10. So the next 2 factors that we looked at throughout the planet was understanding and communication. Now originally my understanding was a 6 out of 10 and my communication was an 8 out of 10, simply because I have had experience coaching. I do feel like I do have a good understanding in terms of when I'm delivering my demonstrations, and I feel like my communication is quite good. I can get my points across, but I feel like these both factors have stayed the same when visiting the different planets, and I do feel like I haven't progressed or I haven't declined. And simply because I haven't really gone out of my comfort zone in terms of coaching. I was originally planning the year before to go to America, and this hasn't happened yet, and I feel like if this did happen, the communication understanding might have gone up, but I just haven't been outside my comfort zone yet. I've still been quite safe, so I think unless I go out my comfort zone and try and challenge myself, these communication and understanding will stay the same. And then lastly, rebellion. So originally rebellion was at 4 out of 10. I do feel like before visiting the planets that I was quite, I would go ahead with everything, I would believe everything that everyone says, but since this, it's now gone up to a 7 out of 10, and I think for the fact that I've sometimes got bored of some of the coaching sessions that I've been given, and actually I thought that I can be better than that, and I've gone with my own ideas that can benefit my own players or athletes. So for this reason I do feel like I'm being a bit rebellious in my coaching, and that's why it's gone to 7 out of 10.